Hello and welcome back to episode number 3 of the Rise podcast. Hope everyone is doing fantastic, and boy, do I have a lot to speak about today. It's a pretty exciting episode. So the main topic of this video is going to be post-show binging or troubles with food, things along the lines of that, but then also on the other side of if you aren't competing, if you aren't in a prep, things that you might struggle with food-wise, mental-wise, physically, whatever the case is during that post-show, post-dieting phase. I've got a bunch of notes written down on my phone because there's a lot of topics I want to go over, and then the standard Q&A at the end. But I just wanted to give a little quick rundown of how the last little week's been for me, or since I last uploaded it, because it's been a really busy and really amazing week, and there's lots of exciting stuff coming up as well. And apologies for the messy room yet again. You might understand why it's a bit messy in just a moment as I explain the stories as I go on. I've also ordered a new microphone, the DJI Mic 3. It literally just came out like 2-3 days ago, and I ordered it straight away because I want better audio quality, and also when I recorded the gym and stuff, the noise cancelling. But first thing I wanted to speak about was the Gymshark event. I went to the Gymshark Lift London event yesterday now, I think so. Yes, Saturday, which was the 30th of August. And wow, it was awesome. I'll give you a little rundown of it. So we left the house around, well, I woke up at 4:45. My boys, my friends from home, Akshay and Josh, they came over mine at around 6 a.m. We left at 6 a.m. and it was a roughly like a 2-hour 45, 3-hour drive. Then I stopped a few times to charge my car, well, once, and then we ate some food as well. And then we arrived at around, I think it must have been 9:30, maybe. I was bursting for a pee. That's another story for another time. I thought I was about to explode when we were waiting for the queue. But anyway, here I go on my what's the word I'm looking for? Tandems? No, tangents. You know what I'm trying to look for. But anyway, yeah, we got there. We got into the queue at around 9:30, I believe. We queued till around 10:45, and then everyone started flooding in. First person we saw was Ryan Terry. We were going to queue up for like David Lade and Jesse James West, but they had massive queues. I really wish I met Jesse James West. With David Lade, don't get me wrong, one of the first people I watched during my sort of introduction to the fitness industry, massive inspiration obviously for everyone. Like those transformations of David Lade are incredible. I'm just trying to move my camera down a bit so I'm a little more centered. Perfect. And everyone loves David Lade, but he had such a big queue. It was kind of like a shake hand, take photo, go. There was like, they wouldn't even let him sign things. Some people managed to speak to him, but they were like ushering people off not to speak to him. So I'm glad I didn't go into the David Lade queue, even though it would have been very exciting to meet him. And then Jesse James West, also big queue, but then I was like, oh, Ryan Terry, 2-time Mr. Olympia in men's physique, about to be 3rd time, 100%. And we got in his queue. It took pretty long because Ryan Terry spoke with every single person for literally as long as they wanted to. It was absolutely brilliant. What a person, honestly. And it was just so inspirational speaking to him. He even recorded a video to send over to my coaching group chat with the team, which is really exciting. You can see here, I won't play it because it's just for the team. It's uploaded on my Instagram if you want to have a look, but it's me and him there. He's given some wise words, and that was absolutely awesome. Got a cool little photo with him as well, a couple photos, but this was my favorite one. It was just so cool. He was such a nice person, gave me some advice in terms of balancing like family, friends, and business and your goals, and very wise words, honestly. You can tell he knows a lot, and he's got like 3 successful businesses. He's a Mr. Olympia, he's got a wife, he's got kids, and nearer to the start of his journey, resonated to a lot of things that he was saying where, it's not to the extent, but like a few things that I asked him, like, how did you deal with this? He goes, oh, this is how I dealt with that. And it was just really nice. It was really cool. And then we went and got some food, which was nice. And throughout the whole experience itself, I had like a couple, I don't know exactly how many, maybe 6 or 7 people stop me, ask me for photos. That was the weirdest thing ever. And also I met a couple of my clients. So shout out to Greg and Jordan, and Jordan's partner as well. Absolutely lovely people, awesome people. I've spoken to them a lot because obviously they're my clients, but it was amazing to meet them face to face. And Jamie was there as well, but I didn't get to see him, but I would have loved to see him. But regardless, when I was walking around and people were like tapping me like, oh, excuse me, can I have a photo? I was like, whoa, this is the weirdest feeling ever. And it's nice because this leads on to a topic I'll speak on later. But just that feeling of when I look at people like Ryan Terry, like C-Bum, they give me such inspiration and push me so much harder to do the things that I want to do, to achieve great things like they have, to know that, you know, they're ordinary people that have achieved something great as well. And I want to be that for other people as well. So, you know, maybe they don't see me that way, but, you know, asking for photos and just asking me a few questions, I hope I inspire them. I hope I inspire the people behind this camera, behind the screen, wherever you're watching, because ultimately I get the most satisfaction from that 100%, like being directly able to help people through my coaching, inspire them hopefully through my coaching as well, but then also just people through social media, being able to watch my stuff, get inspired and maybe do things they would have never done before. It's such an awesome feeling and I want to carry that on. I want to build that up so much more. But then after that, I know I'm going off of on a mad one here. We queued up for the C-Bum talk. We got front row for the C-Bum talk, which was insane. I've got a really cool photo, which I will show you here, that my friend Sonny took, where he took a picture of C-Bum, but you could see me in the background. I don't know if you can see this. There he is. There I am. Absolutely wicked. I was in awe, if I'm honest with you. I was so focused in what he was saying. I just was staring at the back of his mullet, just like, soaking in every single thing he said, and it was the coolest experience ever. Just one of my idols, seriously an idol that I've been following for years and years. Like just before when he placed second place in Mr. Olympia behind Brion, and then next year he won. That's when I first started following him, when he placed second, and I've been a massive like fan, and ever since. I am a fan. I don't care about saying that. You can be a fan of people, right? And yeah, massive inspiration. Like during my first ever prep, I had him as my iPhone background picture, and I would just look at him and think, all right, look what he's achieved. Just keep that mentality that Chris has got and push myself. And it was just amazing seeing him in person, just realizing he's a normal person too. But then everything he was saying, I was soaking up. I was really engaged, and I was just trying to soak up everything he said. But he spoke a lot about, once again, being present, family life, what's important in life really, like how to build up the successive side of things of business, how he kept grounded, like what he thinks about retiring, all these different things. So it was absolutely awesome. And may I say, like, the tickets were for free in that Gymshark event, right? They were free, and there was easily probably close to 100,000 people. They'd only let in 40,000 at a time. I think that was capacity, but it was run so well. Like, even though it was for free, that's what shocked me a lot. Like, yeah, it was cramped at times, but just the atmosphere, the camaraderie. I sound American. Yeah, it was amazing. Like, so many people that I've seen off of TikTok, YouTube, just walking around. I was like, wow, this is so cool. It inspires me a lot. Seriously, my motivation coming back from yesterday has never been so high. One of the best days of my life, one of the most eye-opening days of my life, and I'm so glad I went. I really wanted to go today as well, because I didn't get to meet Sam Sulek. I didn't get to take a photo with C-Bum, because I had no idea they were doing meet and greets. That's my biggest bloody regret. I could have had a photo with them, and I was so close to going today, but it is a really long drive. Like yesterday, I must have been driving 8-9 hours in total, and I've got a job to do. I'm a coach, so I've got to be there for my clients, so I can't sacrifice all that time for that. But next time, I will go, and I'll meet him. But what I said to myself, you know what, I'll keep that private. One day you'll see a TikTok of me post something and you'll know exactly what I'm speaking about. But next thing, that's the Gymshark event. I left at like 2-3 p.m. I really wanted to meet Jack Eagles as well. I'm a massive fan of Jack Eagles. I wanted to meet Phil Heath. I would have seen Joel Davies, Kyan Fit, Sam Sulek, C-Bum, obviously Jesse James West, David Lade, like all of those I would have loved to see. But before I end off the segment, thank you to anyone who went up to me, said nice words, whether that was me competing, whether that's my social media, whether you asked for a photo, my clients, absolute legends. And seriously, those interactions made my entire year. It made me feel stupidly blessed. But before I start shedding a tear, let's go on to the next part. Some exciting stuff. So in 3 days time, on Wednesday, I'm going for my final flat viewing, which is really exciting. In Cardiff, I'll be looking at the final flat that I want. I'm pretty sure, I'm certain I'm set on it, and I'll be moving there on the 26th of September. Wow, what an exciting time, because I think, like I've said to you guys, I love living with my mum. Like my little brother comes back from uni. It's always really fun. Like I enjoy it. But then sometimes it's nice just to have your own space, because this is my own space and my room is tiny. I've said it before, and I just feel quite enclosed and limited to the certain things I can do. And oftentimes when I put myself in an uncomfortable situation, I end up prevailing a lot more on the other side, because I'm uncomfortable, so I need to work harder to get to specific places, whether that's meet new people, work harder with my job, all these different things. Even though I already work as hard as I can, I always will, but you get the gist of it, right? And I want that fresh environment where I don't know anyone. Like there's a few people I know, but new gym, new environment, new opportunities, new places to put myself out there, and that excites me like crazy. I did have places like Cheltenham in mind as well, but I can't go there, like because of my ex lives there, funny enough, right? So I can't go to Cheltenham. I do love it though. It's such a lovely place. Maybe in the future, who knows? But Cardiff was like my second pick, and I am absolutely in love with the place. And it comes with a fully furnished flat. They've got like a gym in there. I'll have everything already ready for me. It's just exciting, and I'm ready to see it in person. They've also got electric vehicle charging, like in the parking place for the actual flat residents, and that's brilliant, right? I don't have to go drive places to charge my car. I can just charge it overnight every single day, full battery. Bloody come on. And what else about the moving house? I don't think there was anything else I need to say except for I am gassed. And I don't know if any of you are like this as well, but once you've got something on your mind, you want it really bad, and you want it right now. I'm just like that, where I want it now, because I'm so excited for it to happen. But hopefully lots of opportunities will arise from it, and I can't wait. I'll post everything regarding it when I get there. Like I'll make some house tour videos, all these different things. Next up, what did I have? Oh, client meetup. Yes, October the 11th, I've got my first client meetup, MJ Performance Coaching meetup. I've got some merch being created, which is exciting. It looks cool. I'm waiting for the first samples to come. Then I'm going to order final batch of them. Perform are giving loads of goodie bags as well. So I'm going to have loads of free stuff to give to all the clients. Going to get a videographer to take photos of the day, take videos, I have cool memories, take professional photos of the athletes as well, of the team, and it's just going to be exciting. I'm so excited to meet them, a lot of them in person, because I chat to most of them every single day, right? And I love chatting to them. They're all such positive people, but I want to be able to also just see them in person, see how they train, see how their physique looks, give them some motivation, like tell them, hey, you look bloody sick, or hey, you're looking shit, it's time to lock it. I'd never say that. But yeah, I am very, very gassed for that. That's October the 11th. I'm going to do loads more. Like once this first one happens, I think it will just be a cascade of multiple happening, maybe like 2 a year, maybe 4 a year. I don't know yet. I don't know how it's going to work. Depending on how successful this one will be, and I know it will be very successful, but also stressful at the same time, because I want to make sure that my clients have the absolute best time there, the smoothest time. They enjoy it. They go away from it thinking, wow, that was amazing. I'm so happy to be a part of this team, like all these different things, right? So that's also exciting. That is MJ Performance Coaching right there. That's the logo. But then next thing I wanted to speak about, next goals in life, and yeah, next goals in life in general. So obviously moving out, big goal. I want to carry on growing my coaching business. That's always going to be a goal of mine, because this is my vocation. This is what I was put on this earth to do, 100%. I know that. And I just want to carry on growing it, carry on improving as a coach myself, the service I provide, and just generally keep increasing the team, like get more athletes on, the caliber of athletes, even though the caliber I've got right now is absolutely fantastic. But then it will get to the point where, I won't be able to take any more clients on, and have to hire other coaches, which is scary to think about as well, because you want, like, MJ Performance is like a baby to me. I care about it so much, and you never know what anyone else is going to be like. You don't know if they're going to put in as much effort as you. You don't know if they're going to care as much as you. You don't know if they coach the same way. So that's a thought for another time. But then also, one thing I really want to double down on, especially when I move to Cardiff, is content creation. Like, I want to take this to the next level. I absolutely love filming this podcast. It's so much fun. I look forward to it every single week. Filming YouTube videos, I absolutely love, but I just need a fresh environment. I want to feel a little bit fresher. And the main reason I want to get really heavily into content creation is simply because I want to be able to inspire people as much as I can. As I said to you earlier, that gives me so much like sense of satisfaction of knowing that someone's done something they wouldn't have done before if they didn't get inspired by me. Like, I'm not saying that happens now. Hopefully I do inspire people, but I want to be able to, like, I want people to get the same source of inspiration from me that I give to others, because I'm so grateful for the people I get loads of inspiration from. Sebum, Ryan Terry, David Lade, Jesse James West, all these people, right? They inspire me a lot, and it's a massive source of my energy. And I want to be able to provide that for other people too, whether that's through bodybuilding, whether that's through content creation, whether that's just my life, my business, like me as a human in general. I'd love to inspire as many people as I can. That is my ultimate goal. And that's why I've got big goals ahead for that. Lots of exciting stuff coming, hopefully. And, you know, another mini goal of mine, I'd love to get a clothing sponsor. And I've got a few places in mind. There's obviously one that's at the top of the list, which I don't know if it's a bit obvious after this video, but at the end of the day, it's just more the case of like, I want to be a part of like a family like that, if that makes sense. They really seemed like a family. They all seem so close and connected and just got treated so well. And I'd love to be a part of something like that, basically. But for the right reasons, not the wrong reasons, if that makes any sense whatsoever. But yeah, that Gymshark event really ignited like another flame inside of me that I never thought I could be even more motivated than I already am in terms of like how much I work. But yeah, that really ignited another flame, and I'm bloody excited to see what's going to happen in the future. Now, another thing I wanted to speak about is just how I'm doing mentally, physically, just in general, post-show, what my plans are with gym, bodybuilding, like all these different things. And right now, I pretty much just finished up like a short little dieting phase. Like I didn't want to get stupidly lean. I just wanted to look a little bit better, which I definitely did. And right now I'm kind of just hovering in like a maintenance phase around that 76 to 76.5 kilogram mark range. That's kind of where I'm hovering at right now. Food's increasing, training's getting better every single week. I feel bigger, which is amazing. I feel great. My mental space is okay. I think there's still definitely some residual prep sort of things going on in terms of like you still get post-show blues, like that's standard. I'll speak about that later on. Like you miss a sort of regimented routine you had, but then also you forget about the negative side of it, like how bad prep affects you, like all these different things. I've spoken about this a million times before, and I'll get into it a little deeper on. But then also like it's hard to like go back to normal life, I guess, if that makes sense, because you're like a robot a little bit. So that's still an adjustment period that I'm getting used to. But am I better? Hell yeah, I am. I feel great, I'm happy, but there's still like little residual effects like floating around some places, and then obviously some personal side of things are hovering in there as well. But in terms of physically, I feel great. My right leg is still annihilated. Like I still cannot pose my right leg whatsoever, really, from prep. It's just, I don't know, battered. Like I've definitely got some sort of damage in there, which I'll have to get looked at eventually. I can still train it. It does not affect my training whatsoever. I just cannot turn it on when I pose whatsoever. And that happened throughout all the prep, except for peak week when we'd pull out steps, cardio, it would get better. But obviously I need to do steps. I need to do cardio. I can't just not do it for the rest of my life. So it's something I'm gonna have to deal with until I want to get it sorted out, which I do need to do. And then in terms of like future plans, yeah, it's just maintain for a bit, probably go into like a really long off season, but I just want to wait a little bit more till I move out of Cardiff, till I move in Cardiff, sorry, settle down a little bit and just get into a routine of things, because there's no point me starting an off season now and then I'm not going to be able to get my food in and I'm going to feel a bit rubbish that I can't stick to it and like the plan and have off plans and stuff. I'm just not going to enjoy that. So I'd rather just maintain where I'm at. It's a lot easier to maintain because I don't need to worry about eating enough food, basically, and making sure my training's on point, making sure everything else is on point. And then I'll go into an off season and we'll see where life takes us from there, right? I have no idea. Like competing wise, probably not going to compete. Like I've said this before, I don't know. It's a 99.9% no. Like circumstances would have to be aligned perfectly for me to compete again, but who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Next thing I wanted to speak on is, oh yeah, because I had someone ask me about like off-plan meals. I'm actually having an off-plan meal today, which I'll tell you what it is in a moment. But like, what are my favorite off-plan meals? So first off, what I'm having today, because I have not really had an off-plan in a long time. Like whenever I have off-plan meals, because I've finished this dieting phase, I always macro match it into my meals. So technically it's an off-plan, on-plan, right? But I haven't had a time where I can just enjoy some time with some family and not think about the macros and the calories. So me and my younger brother are getting Domino's today. Haven't had a Domino's since the day after prep. So that was, oh my God, that was almost, wait, that was a full 2 months ago, right? I think so. Yeah, a full 2 months ago. Well, I'm losing track of time. A full 2 months ago, where I had Domino's pizza last, and Domino's is not one of my favorite things. So I'm going to get that. I'm probably going to get an Italian style crust cheeseburger, large, and I've also got a full pint of Ben & Jerry's peanut butter cup. Peanut butter is my favorite. It's either Netflix and chilled or peanut butter cup. Top two for me, and I got peanut butter cup because it's rare to find. I found it in Sainsbury's, by the way, so that will be my off-plan meal, and I'm excited for that. But then, favorite off-plan meals or cheat meals? Oh, it's a hard one, okay? Because Domino's is definitely up there. Now, Five Guys, I'm not too fond of. Like, you can throw Five Guys away. I'm absolutely okay. I'd rather make my own burger, to be honest with you. Even though it does taste amazing, I've never just been a massive fan of burgers. Like, they've never enticed me as much as other food. Now, what else do I enjoy? Oh, bloody hell. Well, Domino's. Taco Bell I really like as well, but I haven't had it in ages. I also really like Wingstop currently. Subway is up there as well. But then if I say I only had an option of 3 off-plan meals for the rest of my life, Domino's 100%, okay, 100%. Secondly, my mum's homemade lasagna, without a doubt. And then the third one would be some sort of cookies, I think, because I love cookies. Those are like my top 3. Like, I could be fine with that. That wouldn't be an issue. Like Mackey's, KFC, it's all right. Like, I'm not too fond of it. Burger King, same thing. Like Chinese takeaway, I cannot remember the last time I had it. Indian takeaway, cannot remember the last time I had it. Like, I haven't had those things in a long, long time. I can't really remember what it's like, and it's just not really there in my mind. Like, I don't think about it. I genuinely enjoy my diet, and I know I enjoy what I eat on a day-to-day basis more than those off-plan meals, just because of the way it makes me feel, knowing I'm not working towards my goals. Like, I just don't enjoy it, so I don't see a point as often. But like, Domino's is an exception, okay? Because it's so anabolic, and I'm gonna have the best push day ever tomorrow. But yeah, like, I like cakes, I like cookies. I've never had there is a place called Good Day Cafe in Bath. Wow, that is incredible. I used to go there quite often, I can't lie to you. And they've got some mental cookies and brownies which tasted unreal, or taste unreal, because they still do, I guarantee it. But they released like a Dubai chocolate bar one time, and that was nuts. But yeah, favorite off-plan meals, that was a pretty rubbish answer, wasn't it? But then the thing that I wanted to go into, the main side of this podcast, is like binging, right? Eating disorders, whatever, right? And I say whatever because there's so many different ways to describe them. There's so many different levels of dealing with them, and everyone has their own perception on it. I think it's a thing that's very common in the gym, especially bodybuilding wise. I've suffered with my fair share of it, to be honest with you, which I'll go through my story in just a moment. But I think post-show is the highest chance of binging or developing an eating disorder. During prep, definitely as well. And then people who have had previous bad experiences, say with a coach, or they've dieted down too hard by themselves and the coach didn't care about their health or things like that, and then they develop some sort of eating disorder, which they usually can't recover from because maybe they're too scared to get another coach because they don't trust the aspect of like, oh, well, my coach did this to me, like, well, someone else is going to do the exact same thing, which is not the case, okay? That's one thing I wanted to say. But first off, I'll start off with my experience. So generally, I've always been a bit of a foodie, right? I've always loved food. I was a bit of a chubby kid when I was like 12 to 14 because my parents divorced, and I just used to eat a lot, and they would just give me whatever I wanted to make me feel good. And I put on a good chunk of weight, but always loved food. I could always eat a hell of a lot of it as well. I guarantee you, in another life, I am a food challenge eater, or I am some sort of mukbang person, or like Eric the Electric Part 2. Like, I guarantee I'm one of those in another life. But basically, always loved food. Never had like any thoughts about it or food noise when I was growing up, right? Because I didn't know what that meant. But when I was 16, I started literally tracking my food, bringing my own lunch into school. I started doing that because that's when I got into the gym, wanted to take it seriously. I was literally bringing pasta, whole grain pasta. I remember chicken, sorry, I was about to say salmon, spinach, mushrooms, and some sort of like single cream sauce every single day into school. That would be my lunch, and I loved it. I didn't really understand like calories too much, I should say, but I felt like I was on track, felt like I was following something, which gave me a great sense of I'm working towards something. Just gonna have a little water break. And then in university, for the first year, I didn't really care. Like the first half of first year, didn't really care about how I looked or like what I was eating. I was drinking hell of a lot, like you name it. Most nights I was drinking, getting very, very violently drunk. And those were good memories. I don't regret it, to be honest with you. But I then went into my first dieting phase because I broke up with that first girlfriend, or she broke up with me, or she cheated on me. And I went through my first dieting phase, got the leanest I've ever been in my entire life. Like I had visible abs, ab veins, chest striations, leg striations. Like I actually got pretty lean by myself, but that in turn led to my first issues with kind of binge eating, I guess. Like my first memory of struggling with food a little bit is I would literally like call people around and ask them and be like, oh, do you think I should have a cheat meal because I have been dieting for so long? Do you think I deserve it? Like I'd call my family and ask it. And then like my dad would say, yeah. And then like what I'd do is I'd have one day where I'd go all out on like a KFC order and get like 7,000 calories worth of KFC or something crazy. I'd wake up the next day and be veiny as hell and dry as hell. And I'd look the best I've ever looked. So I was depleted like crazy, but it wasn't good for me. And that's where I had my first like run in with like food relationship problems for sure. After that dieting phase, I went to Magaluf, and in Magaluf, like the boys that went with me, they know, like after the night out, we'd get a kebab, or it would most of the time just be me getting a kebab. On the way, walking home, eating a kebab, I'd go to the corner shop, buy loads of snacks I wanted to eat. I'd eat all of them, and then I'll be in bed, like passed out with food on me. I gained 9 kilograms in 6 days in Magaluf, which was not fun. Really struggled with looking at myself mentally, that like feeling of how I looked, and then like committed to a slight bulk, but then started dieting again, went into a first prep. And during that, I think I was working with a coach. I've never actually told this to anyone, but I was working with a coach at like 18 weeks out, left him at 16 weeks out, and I dropped out of prep. I was like, I'm not prepping. I cannot be bothered to deal with all this. I don't think it's for me. And I started eating loads. Like I didn't gain too much weight, to be honest with you, but I remember one night I got like McDonald's. I got 20 chicken nuggets, double cheeseburger, Big Macs, and McFlurry and something like that. And I was the first day after being on the diet for like 4 weeks, and I got pretty lean in 4 weeks. I can't lie to you. But yeah, that I struggled a little bit during that phase, really unconfident with how I looked again. Like if I wasn't shredded, I felt awful. And then I went back into a prep. My calories got as low as 1,100 calories, and my cardio was like 2 hours per day, which was disgustingly hard. Came out of that prep, got 4th place, and I went to Taco Bell. No, straight after the show, literally did not even watch it, said bye to my coach, went straight to the car, ate like 2 big homemade cookie pie things and some like American snacks, went to Taco Bell, got a family feast for 4, which was like 6,000 calories, ate it to myself, was dead. Went to Prezzo's, ate like a Prezzo's pizza, could barely fit in my stomach, got back, went on a digestion walk to Tesco to get more food like ramen, woke up the next day like 5 kilos up, maybe 4 or 5 kilos up, mainly water retention. And yeah, I hated the way I looked again, really struggled with it mentally. And this is where my binge eating problem began, like the actual binge eating disorder, where every single day it would be like, right, I would restrict throughout the whole day so I could fit in more calories later in the day, so I could have off-plan meals. And they weren't off-plan meals. As soon as I ate something, I would go off the rails. It would end up being like 6, 7, 8,000 calories per day for ages. Gained a lot of weight, not a lot of weight. I mentally was struggling a lot because I'd restrict like 5 days, have a crazy binge, restrict 5 days. So like my weight was holding, but I looked awful for it, like awful, absolutely awful. puffy face, puffy body, just didn't look like I was going to the gym again. And then right after that show as well, like I went to America for 2 weeks, absolutely binged my ass off, restricted again, would go down at the hotel gym, do like cardio for 2 hours, wake up, do cardio for 2 hours, but then eat like 10,000 calories for 2 weeks straight. Came back weighing way less than I thought, but I looked awful because I was doing so much cardio, so many steps, restricting myself loads, eating loads of food. Awful, 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 awful. And struggled beyond mentally after that as well. Could not look at myself, was down loads. And that's where things flipped a little bit for me, because I was in that sort of phase for around 8 months. And I'll go through like how I dealt with this all in a moment. But I went, I was in that for around 8 months. Non-stop binge, repeat, binge, repeat, binge, repeat. But then I went into university, my final year, and I met my ex-partner, in that final year of university, and that's where I was like, oh wow, okay, she's actually good looking. I've got to sort myself out if I want a chance of her. And that's what I did. Like, that was the only reason I really sorted myself out. But I think I opened up to her about it as well, how I struggled a lot, and I had a lot of support there as well, which was nice. And just telling someone about it. I spoke to my family a lot about it as well. Like, I was open and honest with them, like how I struggled with it all, because someone in my family had anorexia when we were growing up. So they were like very vigilant on these different things and thought I was going to develop like anorexia, but little did they know I had a binge eating disorder, or at least I thought I did. Or I'm pretty sure I did, right? I reached out to the NHS. I had GP appointments about it. I got therapy for it. It didn't help me. Like, it didn't help me, unfortunately. Some people it does, and I do recommend reaching out and speaking to people. But yeah, after that, kind of just locked back in, got a little bit leaner, held at a pretty good body composition, I guess you could say. And then I went into that second sort of prep, but that we cooled off because I got really ill. After that, started eating a lot, but I controlled it a lot more because I was in a relationship. I had to look good in this relationship. I couldn't let myself slip. And that's why I stayed on top of everything, really. Did not get too fat in that off season. And I was with Finn at this time. And I knew I wanted to compete a little bit later. So I wanted to take it serious because I had a goal set. That's an important thing. Set goals, okay? Don't let yourself spiral out of control and not have a goal. You don't know what to work towards. But yeah, that's what I did. And I had the goal of the next prep. We started the prep in December. Boom, 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 won a couple of shows, and here we are today, where I didn't really suffer with anything. Well, I did a little bit, and I'll explain that in this little podcast, the little next bits. But from the moral of that story, right, let me just make sure I'm not going to miss anything, right? So, like, that was me binging post bodybuilding show, but then also just in general, right? I think a very common thing is that people suffer with just the food noise that they can't control, right? Really suffering with, oh, I'm so hungry. Like, your mind is like running around being like, just eat this food, it will feel so good, right? But then the one thing that people forget and they often like overlook is, like, if you ever have binged, that feeling when you wake up in the morning of that guilt, of that horrible sensation of not wanting to look at yourself, that is the worst feeling ever. Right. And I always say to, like, because I've got a few clients, which I'm not going to mention who they are whatsoever, but I've got a few clients that have struggled with binge eating disorders, and we've worked together and sorted it out for them. And I've got still some that are ongoing with their binge eating disorders or bad food relationships. And that's one thing that I really hits home for me. So I put in a lot of effort with these clients to make sure that they can get out the other end okay, because I know it's possible. I've done it with other clients, done it with myself, right? And it takes a lot of time. But what I was getting onto was, what was I saying? God, I've lost my train of thought. Is, yeah, the food noise and waking up guilty, right? That is the worst feeling ever. And what you've got to tell yourself, like, at least this is what I do to myself if I ever get any thoughts. I'm like, Mikey, think about that feeling when you wake up in the morning, how you feel. Like, you could have said to yourself, like, in the morning, you'll be like, oh, I could have just had a diet fizzy drink, drank that just so I didn't feel like I could have like hacked for it. I could have fought myself and not done it, and I would have woke up this morning feeling amazing. And when you do that, you do really wake up in the morning feeling amazing, like so proud of yourself. And sometimes, like, at least, like, right, I'll tell you what I do if a client tells me that they binge, right? First thing is, like, for example, not going to give any specifics to it, but I had a client message me saying that they binged, right? They ate this, they have been really scared to tell me, and they told me, and they feel really guilty, and some things happened, and I don't want to get into detail because I don't even want there to be a chance of for anyone to be able to guess who it was. But yeah, they binged, really negatively impacted their mental health that specific day, felt horribly guilty, told me, struggled a lot. And it was a good chunk of food, right? But first thing I did is, hey mate, hope you're okay. Forget about it, right? First thing, I am not mad at you whatsoever. I'm not disappointed. You should not be disappointed at yourself. It is okay. I am very, very proud of you for telling me. That's the number one thing, for having the courage to tell me, because one thing about binge eating is you do it in secret, right? You don't tell anyone, you keep it hidden because you're embarrassed, right? But the first step to overcome that is to speak to people about it, to tell people. That is an important aspect of it. So reinforce that positive attitude that my client told me about it. And I said to them, they told me what they ate, and they were like, right, what shall I do? I said, you are not punishing yourself. I am not disappointed in you, but I will be disappointed in you if you end up doing more steps, if you end up doing more cardio, if you end up lowering your food. I will be mad at you then, okay? I said to them, right, what's the time? How many meals did you eat before this happened? They said. I said, okay, perfect. Eat your final 3 meals of the day. Keep it like normal. Same steps, same cardio, same training. Eat the final 3 meals of the day. Woke up. They stuck to it. I checked their data the next day. They stuck to it. Lo and behold, 3 days later, back to the same weight, felt better mentally. The next time it happened, they were like, I actually managed to control it. But does that mean it won't happen again? No. When it does happen again, guess what? I'll be there to support them. If it does happen again, I will always be there to support them. And it's just knowing that the more you speak about it, the less of a sort of hidden thing it becomes, a thing that you're ashamed of. And the more you can fight it, because that guilt feeling really does eat you up, and that makes you want to binge even more, without a doubt. So I will always be there to support, and I hope, I know all of my clients are comfortable with telling me, because I've got a few in this circumstance, and they're all so open and honest with me, and the progression we've made with a lot of them is fantastic. And small little tips, right? Post-prep, get your coach to make you a plan 2 weeks post-show, right? 2 weeks before post-show, okay? My client, Danny, he's competing in 7 weeks' time. When we know, whether it's going to be his last show, whatever, I will send him his post-show diet 2 weeks. Or 2 weeks a week before the show, so he can look at it. So he's got some confidence to know that he's going to be eating more food. Recovery diet, do not reverse diet. Now it's different with lifestyle clients versus prep diet clients, and depending how lean you get, but it will be a recovery diet, right? I'll send it all to him. I'll give him confidence. I'll be there to support. I'll continue checking in with him daily after the show, just to make sure he's on top of things. And guess what? I'll tell him, if you slip up, don't hide it from me. Tell me it is okay. I'm not going to be mad at you. But the more you tell me about it, and the more you kind of own up to it, the less likely it is to happen again, right? Be honest with your coach, or at least have a coach that you're okay with being honest about it too. That is super, super, super crucial, that you're not scared to speak about these things too, that you won't hide it from, because maybe they take things too seriously, but little do they know in the background you're struggling. You had a massive binge, and the next day you starve yourself because the check-in's the next day, and you want to not look watery and fat, so you literally starve yourself, and you're absolutely fucking your body up. And I've been in that state, right? I really have. And I know it's not good mentally, but just know, right? First thing, speak to your coach. Secondly, post-show diet. If there's a thing that you know will help you, for example, my coach gave me an okay amount of veg and fruit, but I said, I need more. I know I'm going to struggle. I need more veg and fruit. That's going to help me fill out of, stay full. I added a hell of a lot of diet drinks into my diet because it helped keep me full. I ate later. I ate my last meal, right before bed. So it would put me in a food coma and I could fall asleep, not think about food, right? So if you know that there's ways that will help you, that you figured out before, or that you just know help a lot in general, tell your coach so they can add it a part of the plan. If they're a good coach, they will. Now, if it is something stupid that's not going to benefit you, obviously they'll tell you that. But most of the time, they'll support you with that, okay? And I can make another 3-hour podcast just based on post-show, reverse diet, recovery diet, all these different things. But moral of the story, guys, is be like accountable to yourself in terms of open and honest, like being open and honest, telling other people about your struggles, and just know there is a light at the end of the tunnel. But it's all about, right, like, one, creating a diet that you enjoy, that you can stick to every single day, okay? And if you are going through a binging phase, or you've binged post-show, or you've binged after your dieting phase, do not go back into a dieting phase, okay? Just sort yourself up mentally, right? Stay on a relatively higher amount of food, whether that's maintenance, a slight surplus, and just keep building up until your mental state is a lot better. Then you can have a mini cut, right? But build your food up a little bit more, make yourself feel better, and then you can diet way later on. You don't even want to think about dieting 6 months post show. Like, it shouldn't even be on your mind. And that's where, like, a lot of people, you know, if someone comes to me with that problem, I will speak to them. I'll ask them, like, how do you feel? Like, I think we should be doing this. I'll be open and honest about it. And most of the time, it'll be the case of, right, let's sort out the problem behind the scenes before we actually get you to your goal. Because if someone tells me they want to be shredded for a holiday, but they've got a binge eating disorder and they struggle with it loads and they've been binging loads, me putting them in the dieting phase, lowering their calories, giving them loads more food is only going to add fuel to the fire. And it's just not going to be a good idea, is it? It's just going to make it way worse. And that's where you have to explain the things behind the scenes and tell them, like, how it works and how it's going to benefit them not doing all those things, right? Just going to check my notes to see if there's anything else I needed to add on. Yeah, recovery diet as well. Recovery diet definitely for 100% for natural athletes. Post-show, without a doubt, recovery diet versus reverse diet. Always go recovery, 100%, which essentially just means a way higher calorie increase post-dieting phase to get yourself up to a healthy level of body fat as soon as possible, because most likely you've taken your body fat down to very, very low lows where your hormone levels are absolutely annihilated, and it takes a very long time for them to come back to normal. Whereas, like, a lifestyle client might get very, very lean, but not staging lean and stay that lean for that long, right? It's just staying that lean for that long that makes a real issue. So they can reverse diet, which is essentially incrementally build up their calories so they don't gain excess fat, and then get them into an off season, right? Reverse out of the diet, not bump up calories a stupid amount, because their hormones and things will go back to check a lot better and a lot quicker than someone post-show. Some people might not. Some people do get stupidly lean out of normal dieting phases, and I will give them a recovery diet. It's all person to person dependent, right? And another thing, post-show, okay? Two things I want to talk about post-show is post-show blues and like post-show training. And post-show mindset, I guess you could say. First off, post-show training, at least my philosophy is, the last thing I wanted to do after I finished my season was go full throttle in the gym again, train as hard as I can and push myself and got to get ready for the next season. I did not want to do that. A lot of people do, and a lot of people, like, are ready and have that motivation to push yourself as hard as possible. I didn't. I hated the gym, right? I hated it because it was like the exact same thing. I couldn't enjoy myself anymore because it was like, obviously I got very, very lean, so it just wasn't fun for me. And I just wanted to change up things where I didn't have to think about my logbook. I could do whatever exercise I want. I could skip legs if I wanted to, because I hadn't done that in so long. And if my legs were battered, I'd be like, oh, I can actually have a bit of a rest, right? So post-show, at least my tip for training is just go have fun for as long as you need until you want to get back into training as hard as possible. Like, for me, I had 3 weeks off at the gym because of my hair transplant, and really I only started getting it back into training properly like a month and a bit after my show, where I started really going hard at it again because I was ready. I loved the gym again. I wanted to push myself as hard as I can again, but I needed that time off, because if I carried on going full throttle, would have burnt myself out, would not have wanted to train, would have kept training poor for really, really long. So training, that's my number one tip. Just go back and enjoy it. Do whatever the hell you want. Don't care what anyone says. Seriously, at least that's if, like, you share the same mindset as me in terms of, like, you know it's going to burn you out. Obviously speak to your coach about it as well. I don't want to influence any people badly, or badly, maybe that's the right word. And then in terms of post-show mindset, is just know, like, post-show, most of the time people do binge after their first show, but that doesn't mean you need to. It doesn't mean it's a normal thing to binge post-show and do 10,000 calorie challenge, 20,000 calorie challenges. Your body is in a hell of a sensitive state. You're almost primed for the best growing season of your entire life. And I promise you, if you do binge, if you come to these social norms of binging after your first show or post-show treats, all these different things, you will struggle mentally. You'll hate how you look. You won't feel good about it. So just keep that mindset strong of how you were on prep, right? You could do it for 4, 6, 8 months in a row. What's another 2 months going to do on top of that, just to keep your health on point and, you know, treat your body with some respect, I guess you could say. So just keep a strong mindset. Don't be like everyone else. Don't think it's normal, because it's not normal. It's not a good thing. It can lead to a slippery slope. And the number one thing post-show is just keep a mindset of wanting to enjoy things again, whilst having that balance of making sure you're doing the right things and staying healthy, okay? And then post-show blues, that's another thing. I struggled with post-show blues, oh my God, a lot. Like, I still think about me competing a lot. That's why I'm like, oh, do I want to compete? Do I not want to compete? I don't know. Because I look back on it, it was the best time of my life, but it's oftentimes that happens, right? I'm sure, like, guys, you've been through a breakup, right? This isn't anything to do with mine, but it's just a good example, okay? Because I know it happens a lot, because it happened like in my first breakup, right? Where someone breaks up with you, okay? And you're upset and you're thinking about all the good times in the relationship. You're like, oh, we did this. Picturing them smiling and running and swimming in the ocean, right? And then you forget about all the bloody hard times. The times that you argued, where you had those small arguments that would happen often, and then you start realizing there was like the things you're like, oh, is this actually right? Like, you're laying in bed next to them, you're like, John, I don't like the fact that you do this. Maybe you aren't meant for each other. And like, you forget about all those things. You only flood yourself with those good memories, just like post show, right? You start thinking about all the times where you looked at yourself in the mirror, or people telling you you looked good, where you got your high days, when you were on stage, where you won, where you came second, third, or whatever, and you just had an amazing time. And you forget about all the hard times where, for me, like, I cried hell of a lot during prep. I went through really hard times during prep. I could barely get out of bed. I could barely brush my teeth. My mental energy was down in the gutter. I felt mentally destroyed as well. I forget about all that. And I have to oftentimes remind that self to me, because I said to myself, and I made a promise to myself, the person I become on prep is not me, and I never want to be that person again. Now, this doesn't happen to everyone in terms of like they switch, but for me, I do, and I just cannot control it. I become a different person. No matter how much I say to myself, I will not be like this, I'll not be like this, it happens. And that's why I think prep is not for me, because I do not want to be that person. It is not worth a plastic trophy for me to treat the people around me like I do during prep. It's just not worth it. That's why things need to align perfectly and blah, blah, blah. If I wanted to compete again, like, do I have a desire? Would I want to? Yes. Like, I love bodybuilding. I love competing. I love this sport. I love physique development. I love being on stage. Like, I absolutely love it, but I hate the person I become. And I'm not willing to put other people through that. Yeah, simple as. Like, I've got other priorities now, and yeah, I just don't want that to ever happen again, basically. It's a short part of it, and I cannot control it. Others can, not everyone can. Most people, I don't know what most people can do. I just know for me, that's my personal experience of it. I know I cannot control it. I've prepped 3 times. Every single time I become that person, and I say to myself every time, I'm not going to do it again, because I don't want to be that person, but I do. And then here we are, right? So now I made a promise to myself, like, I genuinely will never become that person again. But yeah, that's post-show blues. Is like, just know, if you ever want to compete again, you can. But like, another thing, sorry, I should say about dieting, this also goes to post-show blues, is have a have a goal set in place when you're done with everything. Like, start working towards the next goal, whether that's like, I want to put on 10 kilograms in the next 15 months, right? And just know, right, my goal is to keep a nice steady rate of gain, not to put on excess fat. Like, I want to stay lean. I still want to be lean by Christmas time, whilst gaining muscle, whilst building up my food loads, or have a photo shoot post prep. So you stay on it for like the next 2-3 weeks post diet, because you know photos are going to happen. Like, invest that money, put it in there, so you've got that financial incentive there as well, because you don't want to lose some money. But then also, like, don't lose sight of everything. Like, physique development is everlasting. Set yourself next goals. I want to prep in 2 years time. I want to do this. Like, whether it's a business thing, for me it was like, I want to build MJ Performance even more. I want to increase social media, like my content creation. I want to do more things, go out more. I want to look good. I want to set an example for my clients. Those are the things I said to myself, and that helps with post-show blues, post-show binge, and like all these different things. It definitely does help. But I'm going to finish it off there and do some questions. I've got a few questions on Instagram. I'll quick fire them. Sorry if I don't get back to your question, because I'm opening this at 6 p.m. And I've had a fair few, and I'll answer them. I'll go into detail with them. Why not? Let's do it. Let's have some fun. I'm going to get my chewing gum out. So I've had that in my mouth the whole time, and now, when chewing gum goes dry and it's just not enjoyable. And also, I know that whole part of everything I just said probably makes zero sense, because my ADHD brain takes over completely, and I just start going through different topics, saying like a million different things. That's why I probably need like a different person on the podcast with me. But that's for the future. Now, the first question from Max B. Lifts. Tips you could give someone in the off season: enjoy it, make the most out of it. If you are really serious about bodybuilding and you want to give it your all, for bodybuilders who have high goals, is essentially treat your off season like a prep. Be regimented about it. Don't skip meals. Don't have off plans. And just know, right, you're eating this food for one sole purpose: to gain muscle and fuel training performance, right? That is it. If you're like a bodybuilder with really high goals. So go into your sessions, train as bloody hard as you can. Like push it to the limit every single session. Progressive overload. Like, don't bump your food up for the fun of it. Like, obviously, if you've got a coach, they'll take control of that for you. Train as hard as you can. Take it serious. Still do your cardio. Still do your steps. Don't let those slack. Still practice your posing in the off season. Massive tip: practice your posing. Okay, meal timings, sleep. Stay on top of your sleep. Don't let that go. Right, all the things that you would have 100% during prep, have 100% during off season. If you're a bodybuilder that want to take it super seriously, but then just in general, off season for whether it's clients or people who are just trying to grow in improvement phases, what I like to call it, is essentially just prime yourself, get relatively lean, okay, and incrementally increase your food. Like, go up slowly. Do not put on more fat than you need to, right? Control the rate of gain. Rough idea, right? 0.1 to 0.2 kilograms per week, okay? That's a good idea for you guys. Just keep that in mind, okay? Don't increase your food if you don't need to. If training performance is flying, if you're still getting stronger, if you're not too hungry, but say, weight's going up and your physique's improving, why increase food? Keep rolling. Don't change what's broken, okay? Stay consistent with things. Don't keep changing things here and there, like changing your split. Like, rinse it. Make the most out of it. Stay on it for as long as you can. If it's working, don't change it. There's no need to, right? And essentially is when food calls for a bump up, whether you're getting hungry and weight's going down or stalling and training performance is stalling and not getting stronger, that's when food bump ups go up. But that's also the benefit of having a coach, is they can make all the decisions for you, right? That's the fun part of having a coach. And I love being that person for people. But yeah, progressively overload in your training as well, just like a person on who's a bodybuilder, is focus on building up your numbers, but then also like focus on the accuracy, the form, the intensity of your movements. Like, stay on top of it. Like, push yourself hard still. Like, go into every single session with the mindset of pushing yourself, getting new numbers, like training hard. Like, if you don't logbook, all you need to do is go into each session, train as hard as you can, push yourself to failure, and you'll know, like, you are going to be getting stronger. You'll see changes. And yeah, that's what I would say. But then also is like, yeah, don't let training slack. Stay on top of your sleep, food, like, control the amount of fat you gain. Don't get fat for no reason. You don't need to, seriously. But yeah, I was going to say one more thing, but it's gone out of my mind and I need to go to the toilet. So I'm going to run to the toilet. Okay, back to it. Next from Andrew Devine 05. When you first started this journey, in brackets, everything, what was the biggest shock you had? Oh, that's a good question. I have to think of that a little bit. I think one shock I had is, it is not as easy as it seems. I promise you. The amount of work I put in behind the scenes is unreal. Like, there's some secrets I'll never spill. But I worked my ass off. Like I said to you guys, I was working as a full-time medical sales representative, oftentimes traveling from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Every single waking hour I'd have. Obviously, I'd still get my sleep, but every single second, every single chance I had, I would work. I would build up my coaching business. I would put in so much effort. But then also, I think just another thing on mindset is, I don't want to be like everyone else. I do not want to. Like, in terms of, I want to achieve great things. I want to be an inspiration to people, and I have big goals set for myself. And I know that if I want to get those goals, I cannot do what everyone else does, right? There's a reason you see all these successful people that are in the places that they're at because they were willing to do things that others aren't, whether that's physique development, whether that's business, whatever, okay? They're willing to sacrifice things, feel a certain way that other people just are not willing to do. And that's what motivates me. Like doing the things, I'm like, oh my God, this is hard. But I'm like, hell yeah, I'm the only person doing it, for example, right? I'm not the only person doing it. I'm like, I know 99% of people would not be willing to do this. So I'm going full throttle at it, right? But then a shock I had when I started all of this, is the amount of effort and time it takes. Because when you see social media, content creators, coaches, you assume it is the easiest job ever. You assume they've got infinite free time. They can do whatever they want, right? It's your own job. You're your own boss. For me, at least, it's quite the opposite. And I know a lot of coaches say this as well, is you are working every single waking moment of the day, right? From the moment I wake up, I am replying to messages, replying to client messages until the second I go to sleep, right? I am constantly on my phone, constantly replying, right? Check-ins. I put a lot of effort into my check-ins, so they take a lot of time. Form feedback, like clients will send form videos every single day. I reply to them on the day. Consultation calls, like I spend a lot of time in my consultation calls as well because I want people joining the team to be as confident as possible, as comfortable as possible going into the coaching. So I will spend a lot of time on it because I want them to know what they're getting into and I don't want to like BS anything, right? So I'm working all the time. And then also one thing I didn't really realize is you don't get holidays. Like you're your own boss, you run this business, right? So I don't get any holidays. I don't get bank holidays. I don't get time where I could just say I'm going to turn my phone off for 2 days or 5 days. I'm not going to open up my laptop, open up my computer. I can't. And luckily, I love what I do, so that isn't an issue whatsoever. But then also, like say if I wanted to go on a holiday where I didn't have to work on the holiday, don't know how I'm going to do that. Probably won't. I will work whilst I'm on holidays, but then like Christmas time, I think I will just say, hey guys, just for the one or 2 days, I'll catch you all soon. But yeah, that was a little bit of a shock, and hopefully I've answered your question all right there, mate. Billy, one of my clients, when's the MJ performance holiday? That's a good idea. We got the meet. We should do a holiday, like do like a bloody Dubai or Marbella. Well, I don't know about that. I don't know. That's a pretty cool idea though. Might be something we do in the future. We'll see. But I hope you're enjoying your holiday too. I think you'll be back by the time this is out. But yeah, Billy, hope you're enjoying it. Dad to Jad coaching, binging advice / plans with the growth phase. Answer that in all the other videos. This is what I actually base the podcast off of your question, mate. So there you are. Josh Pleath, currently building my online coaching, back to corporate meanwhile, or becoming a PT. Become a PT. So carry on building it, mate. Like chase your dreams. You got this, brother. Definitely. Just stay consistent with it. Stay disciplined. Stay motivated. Push yourself and do things that others aren't willing to do. Remember that. Okay. Now, if you've got financial things that you are dependent on and you need a certain amount of money, take whichever job will provide you that, okay? But then also, like being a PT, if you can get a steady income from that and you'll be comfortable with it, obviously that's a better route to take because you're directly working with people. You can transition them into online. You expose yourself with more training, more complications clients might have, and you learn how to speak to them, and you generally surround yourself with those types of people that might already be in the industry. So that's a good idea. But then also, if you need a certain amount of money, if you can't get a PT job, then going back to corporate or whatever it is absolutely fine. Just you have to be able to say to yourself, I'm willing to work this job for the next 5, 10, 15 years and not make any money from it, right? You have to be willing to say that. I'm not saying that will be the case, right? But you have to be willing to say to yourself, I will go to those lengths if it means that after that period of time, I will get to where I want to be, because you're doing it for the right reasons then. And, you know, like I would have worked in my old company as a medical sales representative for the next 5 years and carried on doing MJ performance coaching until it got to the point where I could make it my full-time job. Now, luckily, that happened in a relatively short period of time for me. And that's down to I put in stupid amount of work to it. Like, and loads of people are willing to do it, but I don't think anyone ever will know how much work I actually put in, especially whilst being on prep and stuff. And bloody hell, it was fun. Like I would relive that time any day of the week, seriously. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question, mate. Adam, Please talk about macros. How much of each do we need, especially in gaining phases? So you know yourself, mate, that's so personal dependent, right? Everyone needs different calories. Everyone needs different amount of protein, carbs, and fats. Like, there is no set answer for that. I would be a horrible coach if I gave everyone the exact same calories, exact same macro split. Like, people respond better to fats, might respond better to fats or higher fats than someone else. Someone might respond better to lower protein because of digestion. Someone might respond better to higher protein because of satiety, or they just feel better or having more calories from protein. Carbohydrates, like carbohydrate timing, like it all depends, mate. So I simply cannot answer that question. Sorry, like a rule of thumb is 1 gram per pound of body weight for protein. Fat, 0.5 times your body weight in kilograms for a minimum baseline of fat, and then the rest carbohydrates. That's like the best advice I could give you there, mate. Apetemerides, oh mate, I'm butchering your name, I'm so sorry. Apetemerides. Mate, I'm so sorry. I'm genuinely not trying to be rude. I have no idea how to say your name. I'm going to go on your profile and see if you've got it written out. Oh, your name's Andreas Petemerides, okay? Andreas, mate, I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry for that. Hope you're doing well. But I know you've made vids on this, but how did you approach training after the show in general? So also answered before. I just went in and enjoyed it. Did not care about muscle progression. Did not care about anything. Just went in, did sessions I wanted to, that I wanted to enjoy, that I knew I was going to have fun with, that I could speak and train with friends and not care about training to ultimate failure because I knew I would have burnt myself out. So that's exactly how I did it, mate. And hopefully the previous questions answer that a little bit in more detail with the previous topics. What advice would you give to new online coaches or yourself when starting out? Okay, I'll go in a little bit more detail with this. One tip I always give is get yourself a coach that you look up to, that you aspire to, that you know knows a lot, and learn from them. Get coached by them. Pick up the things that they do. Pick up the things that they say, okay? Secondly, if you're starting fresh with no PT experience, like you want an in-person PT, take clients on for free. Put on your story, I'm taking them 5, like, be honest, like, hey, I'm starting out my online coaching service journey, and I'm going to be taking 5 people on for free, right? Do that. Work hard. Treat them like they were full paying clients that pay £200 a month. Treat them as just like you would any other person. Put in maximum effort into them. Get good transformations. Don't focus on the transformation itself. Focus on your service. Focus on how you treat that client. Make sure they're healthy. Make sure you don't fuck them up, right? All these different things, and just be yourself. Like, be you. Do what you need to. And if you are good at it, if you're meant for it, it will happen. Just put in unwavering amounts of effort. Try your absolute hardest. Care. Do the job for the right reasons. 100%. And then work harder than you think you need to. Like, always do more. Like, set your standards, but then always over deliver. That's how I base my coaching off of. Like, I set my standards for my coaching, which I would assume are good standards in terms of like what the client should expect from me when signing up, but I will always over deliver. And that's just a good way to think about it, right? And also over deliver with what you want to do for growing the business. Like, set yourself some goals, but then always do more than that. If you're like, right, I'm gonna set up this, like, I'm gonna make 5 videos this week, but you make 10. Like, work harder. Prove to yourself that you're willing to do whatever it takes to get there, okay? But get a coach, learn, educate yourself as much as possible, and don't give up. There you are. Any plans on future shows and what you'd improve? No plans for future shows. 99.9% of the chance that I am not going to compete again. Yeah, well, almost 100%. Like, I just never want to say never, because you never know, okay? But places that I was going to plan on improving a lot, which I still am improving now: abs, glutes, back. Those are like the main areas I needed to grow. Arms, maybe a little bit, and just I'm growing everywhere as much as I can. Right now, like, my main areas I'm focusing on hell of a lot are my chest, my arms, and my abs. Those are like the areas I'm really focusing on at the moment. But yeah, hope that answers your question, mate. I'm gonna go order some Domino's and eat some Ben & Jerry's. But guys, I bloody love recording these videos. If you've got any, not even questions, if you've got any topical ideas or any stories of my life you want me to go over, leave them below. Like, even if you have questions, leave them below as well. But hopefully you've enjoyed episode 3. If you are interested in coaching, click the link in the description to inquire with myself for WhatsApp, through WhatsApp. And if you want to support me, again, use my code @perform using the link directly in the description, because that's the only way you can support me, by clicking the link and then using my code. If you go directly on the Perform website, it won't actually like support me directly, if that makes sense, if you get what I'm getting at. So you've got to use the link if you want to support your boy. You don't have to, of course, but it was always welcome. 25% off. And then HQ hair transplants, if you want a if you want a consultation for a hair transplant, if you go to HQ hair transplants and mention my name, Mikey, you can get £300 off your procedure. And other than that, like and subscribe. Hopefully you enjoyed. I know this one was a bit all over the place. Keep smiling, keep positive, keep working towards your dreams, never give up, and just believe in yourself. Know what you're capable of, and don't give up until you get there, because everyone can get there. It's just about those that carry on going, or the ones that give up. You will get there. It's a matter of bloody time. If you know you're destined for it, if it is your vocation and you truly believe it in yourself, manifest it, it will happen. It will, I promise you. Take it easy, have a lovely day, and I'll catch you for episode 4. Oh, I'm so excited for Wednesday. House viewing, Cardiff. Oh, life's good, life's good.